Hey guys, and welcome back to Clannad. So in the last episode, we had just finished up with Kotomi's memories, and we asked her to come to school the next morning. So, let's just jump right back in. Morning. Just as I thought, Kotomi didn't attend school. The end of homeroom, the start of lessons. I don't know which subject I'm taking anymore, but I obediently sat and waited. If I'm going to wait for Kotomi, then I shouldn't be ditching class. That's what I thought. The formulas and the answers to what year a certain event was were good incantations to my ears. From the slightly open window, the wind comes in from time to time. I've been gazing for a while at the speckles of light that were dancing over my desk. I quickly headed towards the library as this morning's lessons end. It's also possible that Kotomi is there. She might be waiting for me with her half-eaten lunch. That's what I thought. As I put my hand on the familiar sliding door, I slowly let go of it too. It was locked. The atmosphere of the empty hallway feels awful, as though it were a stranger. I wonder how long I have been standing still here.
あの、
Um, an unfamiliar female voice or student was standing in front. Librarian was written on the armband attached to her left arm.
入りますか?
Are you going in? No. As I leave the place, the girl inserted the library key and opened the door. The pleasant smell of books and dust spreads out.
私、名誉図書委員なの。
I'm an honorary librarian.
ともやくん、ご本、好き?
Tomoya-kun, do you like books?
今日もご本に囲まれて、幸せ。
I'm surrounded by books today, too. So I'm happy. The words grew stale in an after-image between the books. Before long, students who came to do some self-study and chat had filled the library. The sounds of the flipping pages, of the notebooks, the mechanical pencils, the small laughter as if a murmur. It's like there was nobody reading any books. I headed back. I showed up at the drama club room after school. The door is always open, but there wasn't anyone inside. I sit down on a chair and wait. Soon everyone will come. Kyou, Fujibayashi, Furukawa, and Kotomi. That's why I was waiting. I look at the partly open door, or sliding door, every time I hear sounds in the hallway. No one appeared. It felt like I was watching an illusion. Everyone was having fun here. That was 2 days ago, though. With Kyou's absurd speeches, Fujibayashi's normal kindness, and Furukawa, who was honestly working hard. It was dazzling with Kotomi having become so cheerful. I was also having fun inside that circle. It seems like it was in the distant past, but right now, Kotomi remains in her dark house, clinging desperately to the past, running away from the happiness that she has obtained, from the new days, from her friends, and from me. Kotomi, about to decide to deserting everything she had from herself. I needed to say something. Just one thing that will bring Kotomi back to the future. I wonder how I should say it. I wonder what I should tell her. I was there waiting, with all the things in my head messed up. The sun was setting down when I came back to myself. I stood up and left the drama club room. Then, it was evening again when I arrived at Kotomi's house. The yellow fading light is piling up at the roof, the wall, and the window frames. I pressed the doorbell. 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. Nothing happens. I was in doubt of whether or not the doorbell was working. There aren't any lights behind the windows, even though I look around. But even still I understand. Kotomi is inside now, grimacing like an injured stray cat, never opening this door to the outside. It's not like it's anyone's fault. It's just that Kotomi is only keeping a promise. I follow a path and wander around the garden. The sounds of insects singing in chorus echoes like the night. Little Kotomi's garden. The traces of happiness were vanishing completely. I'm standing within the overgrown grass with nothing in hand, nor words too. Thick grass in disorder, that have been long abandoned, which have forgotten even their names. The surroundings were filled with silence, as if to scare trespassers away. I gently placed my finger on the glass door that leads to the living room. Yesterday it was open, but today I couldn't move it. In the end, I pressed the doorbell one more time. As expected, there was no answer. I sighed and was about to head back when
岡崎さん。
someone else's voice. As I turned around, Furukawa was standing there. The evening breeze that blew from time to time was fluttering her light brown forelock.
ここ、ことみちゃんの家ですよね。
This is Kotomi-chan's house, isn't it? With a timid feeling, she gazes up at the second floor. Furukawa has probably noticed the atmosphere that this house holds. The voices of the people sitting warmly together, and the scent of dinner for more than 10 years ago. That house was different. A house which was too big to live in alone.
ことみちゃん、元気でしたか？
Is Kotomi-chan doing well? Furukawa opened her lips. Well, I still haven't properly talked to her either. Realizing our strange position, both of us fell silent for a while. You sure know this place, huh?
ことみちゃんのクラスの先生に教えてもらいました。
I asked Kotomi-chan's classroom teacher about her house.
でも、来るときに少し迷ってしまいました。
But I got a little lost on the way. Well, this place isn't well known.
はい。でもなんとか見つけられました。
Yes, but I somehow managed to find it. Our conversation paused again. She probably hasn't sorted her own feelings yet.
はい。私もそう思います。
Yes, that's also what I think.
詳しいことはわかりませんが、ことみちゃんは今すごく悩んでいるんだと思います。
I don't know the full details, but Kotomi-chan is probably really troubled right now.
ことみちゃんが苦しい思いをしているのなら、放ってはおけないです。
If Kotomi-chan is experiencing some hard times, then we shouldn't let her be alone. I see. I gaze up at the alleyway beyond the gate post. The grade school students up ahead were at least in jolly spirits heading home. By the way, what happened to the club activities? We had break yesterday and today too, right?
しばらくお休みにしました。
I decided to take a rest for a while.
今はもっと大事なことがありますから。
Because there's something far more important to do right now.
昨日、きょうちゃんとりょうちゃんと私と3人で話したんです。
Yesterday, Kyou-chan, Ryou-chan, and I were talking together.
私たちは私たちで、ことみちゃんのためにできることをしようって。
We were discussing about things we can do for Kotomi-chan. Things you can do? Like what?
秘密です。
It's a secret. She returned the answer in a Kyou-like way. Somehow, there's no mistake that Furukawa was forbidden to talk about it by Kyou, who's the ringleader. Well then, give me a hint.
ヒントですか？
A hint? Yeah, just an easy hint.
誕
Well,
生日
her
です。
birthday. I see. They're probably thinking of a 3-person present for Kotomi. That must be what they're thinking.
ヒント簡単すぎましたか？
Was the hint too easy? She was asking me seriously, so it made me laugh. No matter how complicated the problem is, it might be quite simple if you think about what you can do. If they have decided what they can do for Kotomi, then I should also have something that I could do for her. Kotomi's birthday is on the 13th, right?
はい。 琴美ちゃん、この前そう言っていました。
Yes, Kotomi-chan said it before. Today is Friday the 9th, right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We only have 3 days left, huh? Will I make it in time? I can't guess it. But nothing will start if I just idle around. Could you tell Kyou and Fujibayashi about this? I'll probably skip school for tomorrow and Monday, but they shouldn't worry about it.
明日と月曜ですか？
Tomorrow and Monday? Yeah, there's Sunday in between, so it means I'll be out for 3 days.
今週末は創立社祭ですから、日曜に記念行事があって、月曜が振り替え休日です。
Well, we'll have our school foundation day by the end of this week, and we'll have our memorial event on Sunday, so our holiday would be on Monday. School foundation day? Which reminds me, there's always this occasion every year around this season.
はい、当日は文化部の発表会もあるんです。
Yes, there are some presentations from the clubs too.
演劇部はまだ部活ではありませんから、参加できないですけど。
The drama club doesn't have any activities yet, so we couldn't participate. Is that so? This would be the last chance for third years to enjoy a school festival. And it should have been a valuable time for Furukawa too. But even still, she gave it up for her friend's sake. She's that kind of person. It's really a big help that you came here.
私も岡崎さんが元気そうで安心しました。
I'm also relieved to see that Okazaki-san is doing fine. Yeah, sorry for making you worry.
岡崎さん。
That serious tone once again. What is it?
琴美ちゃんを学校に戻してあげてください。
Please bring Kotomi-chan to the school.
きっと、それができるのは世界中で岡崎さんだけです。
I'm sure you're the only one who can do that, Okazaki-san. You're exaggerating.
大げさではないです。
I'm not exaggerating.
琴美ちゃんは岡崎さんのことが本当に大好きですから。
That's because Kotomi-chan really likes you. Furukawa's eyes were peering at me. It gave me a strange feeling rather than making me embarrassed. The moonlight shining through the snow-laden sky makes me relaxed, and also it makes me feel sad somehow. I'll try to do what I can. That was my answer.
はい。
Okay. Furukawa nods.
それじゃあ、お先に失礼します。
Well then, I'll be going off ahead. Take care on your way home. With her long shadow stretching from her foot, she headed home. I've become alone again. It rained that evening, and my eyes froze on the wet ground below. It might be possible that there is nothing I could do. For me to have forgotten about Kotomi, I might not even be qualified to do anything right now. But still, I thought that leaving that garden desolated just like that would be really sad. Alright, guys. This is where things get serious. 8 o'clock in the morning. I was standing in front of Kotomi's house. I have no reason to attend school, so I'm wearing casual clothes. I pressed the doorbell. There was no answer. Well, fine. Anyhow, I don't think she feels like going out. I wonder what she's doing. She should realize it eventually, even if she doesn't want to. Alright, let's start. The garden was still almost completely overshadowed. My trousers got wet with the morning dew as I stepped on the grass. At my feet is a white butterfly dancing as it rises up and crosses over the roof. I stand next to the rusted garden table. I look around it. I suddenly let out a sigh. Looking at it inside the bright light, it feels like a savage grassland. There were some flowers left near the hedge, at least they were salvaged. I first lifted up the fallen chair that was on the ground and placed it to its original place. I've become determined. And then I took off my jacket and rolled it up on my arm. The first thing I should do was weeding. I grip the weeds that are standing out from the rest and pull them out. They're surprisingly sticking hard to the ground, so it's a lot of physical work. I immediately sweat over. The sun had become high and it's baking up the back of my neck. Are you trying to make it harder for me? The shirt is sticking to my back. My arm is full of scratches and my fingers are too full of bruises. I should have brought army cotton gloves. I keep I keep wiping my sweat as I curse myself for not planning ahead. The garden in my memory was always beautiful. That's why I was thinking that it should be beautiful. If it was that beautiful, then it must be that this garden lacked maintenance. I wonder why. Most of all, something has to be done with this overgrown lawn other than pulling the weeds or my efficiency would be too terrible. Ah, that's right. My work was interrupted as I realized something. I wandered around the side of the house. Beside the water faucet was a scoop and besom, as well as a hand-push lawnmower, and beside it is a small storeroom. I tried to open the door, and as I thought, gardening tools were inside. A shovel and a sickle, even some chemicals and a fertilizer bag, and they were all sorted out. And placed in the hook behind the door are 2 aprons used for gardening. They were probably used by Kotomi's parents. Lifting up the bottom of the mower, the blades were all rusted red. You won't be of any use, huh? Next, I picked up the shearer with a long handle. The edge of it has become rusted too, and it shakes bad as well. I looked inside the storeroom one more time and found a small grindstone. I don't know how to sharpen it, but it's better than not doing it. I sit at the place and put the edge of the shear at the grindstone. I carry the sharpened shear and head back to the weeds. Snip. The grass fell to the ground, making a sound that's heavier and damper than when cutting on paper. Now I can use this. The sun had risen during that time, and the increase in temperature had become noticeable. I wield nothing but the shears that look like they're hiding inside my own shadow. I was immersing myself, never stopping my hand from working except from wiping my sweat. The feel of the sharpness of the shear had become dull. As I raised my head, the sun was already setting down. Because I had always kept my head down from working, the reddish sunlight was dazzling. I looked at the sunset for a while. My hips and arms seemed to feel heavy and my throat felt dry. I looked at today's result. I pulled out all the weeds that were standing out from the rest and the lawn was half trimmed. I put all the garbage in the corner of the garden. I think it's changed quite a bit, or quite a lot from this morning. But even still, I don't feel like I've achieved anything. Even though I worked one whole day without rest, the garden was still far from the perfect image in my memory. The noise of the insects has returned. It's much louder than yesterday. It couldn't be related to this cut, could it? I cursed without thinking. I mowed the grass until I was completely exhausted, so it should be the same, even if I left it for many days. I pierced the sharpened shear into the ground and wiped my sweat from the back of my neck. There's still tomorrow. Tomorrow. Though I cheered myself with the remark, it vanished through the insect's noise. Tomorrow, huh? I looked at Kotomi's house that was rising to the thin darkness. The closed living room behind the dark glass looked quiet, as if it's a wall painting. Even the windows from the second floor didn't have any lights on. You probably wouldn't be able to walk inside the house because of total darkness. I look around the surroundings one more time. The darkness had begun to completely envelop the gaps where the plants once were. My wicked thought was has started creeping in. I once visited this garden frequently when I was little. Even though I heard Kotomi's story about it, I could only remember a little of it. My memory was obstructed like a dark red crust clinging on. Do I really want to remember? If I somehow remember, I wonder what will happen. You can't take back some things. The kid in me isn't here anymore. Also, Those times when Kotomi was happy aren't here anymore. I'm all satisfied being all alone. Even if I do something like this, it's all meaningless. We're gonna continue. I shake my head and shook off that feeling. I should stop thinking unnecessary things for now. If I accomplish something, surely something will happen. But my premonition is too weak. I stand still inside the lawn as I gaze up at the darkening sky. Alright, guys, so now it's May 11th, and I am all out of time for this episode. So I hope that you've enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!